Welcome back to Ask Allison. Y'all will see I have a guest today, and we are going to be talking to Andrew Reason from Herd in a moment. But first, I really want to thank our sponsors today. So I'd like to thank TherapyNotes. They are the #1 rated electronic health record system available today. With live telephone support 7 days a week, it's clear why TherapyNotes is rated 4.9 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot and has a 5-star rating on Google. TherapyNotes makes billing, scheduling, note-taking, and telehealth incredibly easy. And now for all your prescribers out there, they also have ePrescribe. If you're coming from another EHR, they make the transition incredibly easy, importing your demographic data free of charge so you can get going right away. Find out what more than 100,000 mental health professionals already know. Use promo code ABUNDANT at therapynotes.com for 2 months free. We're also thanking Herd today. You're going to hear from, I did not mean to make that a pun thing. You're going to hear from Andrew, but first I want to thank Herd. So as a therapist, you're probably too preoccupied with your caseload to want to think about bookkeeping and taxes. Herd is a full-service accounting software platform built specifically for therapists that helps you track and improve your practice's financial health. Regardless of whether you're a seasoned clinician or you're in your first year of practice, Herd will help you identify your areas for growth and streamline best financial practices for your business. When you sign up with Herd, you'll work directly with financial specialists to track your income, your expenses, file your taxes online, and grow your business. You'll also receive financial insights such as profit and loss statements and personalized monthly reports. Say goodbye to poring over spreadsheets and guessing your tax deductions or quarterly payments. Focus on your clients, and Herd will take care of the rest. You can schedule a free 15-minute consultation at joinherd.com. So here we are with the CEO of Herd, and we are talking taxes, which, before you click away, it's one of those things we're going to make it fun. I promise. Look at us. We're going to make it fun. So thank you for being here, Andrew. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to nerd out on all things bookkeeping and accounting and taxes. And I also wanted to acknowledge your ad voice is exceptional. So I aspire to have that someday, but grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, I have some questions from our audience, and I will say I'm so glad you're here because they asked me these questions, and I'm like, I think you should ask an accountant. I don't know. So I'm glad to have a pro. Here is one. I'm starting a private practice this year. Woohoo. When should I invest in an accountant? Before I start, once I'm making money, or when I need to file taxes?
Ooh, this is a great question. So I will take a step back and frame it against kind of the life cycle of compliance or legal activities that you need to accomplish in starting your practice. And so, first of all, again, like Allison said, congratulations on starting your practice, whomever might have asked that question. When you're getting going, a couple things you want to think about. You don't necessarily need to set up a legal entity if you're just getting going or if you're starting a small practice on the side. However, it's typically recommended and it's a great way to separate church and state. But if you do determine that you just want to have a sole proprietorship, getting a tax ID would be that first step and getting that EIN. And that's going to enable you to then set up separate bank accounts for your business to separate your personal from your business finances. And along that journey, as you do any sort of state or local or county registrations, as you get your business set up and get the EIN and go to, TherapyNotes and get your new EHR, there's going to be lots of expenses. Recommendation is just keep track of those expenses in the spreadsheet while you're getting going. That's going to be the easiest way to stay on top of that, especially before you open up a business bank account and have those running out. As it relates to when it makes sense to get set up with an accountant, once you knock out those activities, if you want to hand that off and, start that foundation with an accountant, whether it's building the systems and building the processes to set yourself up for success, that's a great time to do it when you're just getting going. You've set up your bank accounts, you have a business entity, you have started seeing your first clients, and you're ready to start, getting a little bit of help on the side. With that being said, there's also a lot of people, and my team will be upset with me for saying this, but there's a lot of people that in their first year or the first 6 months or 9 months, where they learn a lot from DIYing their accounting. And if you do want to DIY your accounting, we're going to launch a version of this at some point in the next year, but using something like Wave to connect your bank accounts and be able to track those expenses and have them all in one place for when you do decide that having an accountant to file taxes at the end of the year makes sense, will make not only my life as an accountant a lot easier, but your life and structuring all of that information in one place a lot easier. So I think it's a yes and question of like, if you do want to make that jump, early on is awesome. We will be very effective at helping you set up those systems. If you do want to DIY it, make sure that you're using some accounting software that's connected to the systems that you are using as well.
Yeah. And I talk a lot, and everybody knows this. Like, I'm very big on like, get yourself an accountant.
Yes.
I know when I first started, I was hesitant because, well, there wasn't a herd then.
Yeah.
You guys priced in a way that does not feel scary, and the way that the prices I was getting were scary. And so I was like, well, I've used, insert the company that you can just enter your own taxes into it, and it sends them. I've used that before I owned a business. So I'll just do that now. And realized later when I finally got an accountant that like, yeah, I saved a few $100s.
Yeah.
But I like lost a few thousand in things that I didn't know as a layperson I could have written off, or I could have structured differently. And I think about those. I'm trying to be careful just because I know I don't want to like trash a company. But I think when you're self-employed,
Yeah.
it's really important that you acknowledge that you don't have the skill set to also be an accountant, in the same way that like our clients aren't going to get the same thing from a self-help book that they're going to get from therapy. Like it might skim the surface, it might get the job done a little bit, but I'm not DIYing my taxes ever again. So yeah, so get some accounting help once you feel like you can, because it's more likely to save you money than really cost you money.
Yeah, I would holistically agree with that as well, whilst acknowledging the DIYers out there, but holistically agree with that as well. Coming from the place that I do exist and having a partner that's a psychologist and many friends that are psychologists, but there are specific skills and attributes of legal professionals and tax professionals and experiences that they've had similar to clinicians for an extended period of time that enable them to help see things that you might not see if you are DIYing it on your own. And I think taking advantage of those skill sets and being able to effectively hand off this piece that's going to be really anxiety provoking as well, to know that you have that validation and support, I think is an underwritten piece of the accounting relationship as well, is just having that extra person there to, ask that question. Hey, like, is, this stick of gum in my pocket deductible? Or how do I think about setting up payroll? Or what should my salary be? Just having that extra, that space for conversation, we've found can be exceptionally helpful for folks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And also therapists are not as a group known for being great with math and numbers too, or great with money in general and looking at it. So yes, amen. Okay, cool. Anything else around that question that you think you want to address?
One thing that I often see with folks coming into practice is this desire to do everything at once and get everything done at once. And this is probably me on a pedestal, but it's okay if it takes 2 months or 3 months or 4 months or 5 months to get the perfect system set up for yourself. Don't hold yourself responsible for becoming a therapist that's out on your own, that's managing this massive caseload, that's also learning how to build those systems from a clinical standpoint, and then layering on the accounting systems and the legal systems and the business systems over the top. There's a lot that you have to do as a business owner. And so I think this is me on my pedestal, but just give yourself grace in that process. And there's time to set up those perfect systems and processes. And it's okay if you don't do it overnight.
Oh, I love that. We love permission here.
Yeah.
Especially permission for imperfection. Okay, great. And as we always do with Ask Allison, we're going to have a free worksheet that accompanies this, that will kind of break down some of this to make it good for you to think through. Do I want to DIY it? Do I just want to jump on this? And when's the right time for me? So based on this conversation, y'all can get that worksheet in the link in my bio. All right.